Hello, my name's Jeff Nichols, and today I'll be giving an explanation to Microsoft Excel's even function. It is rare, but there are times when we don't want to have to deal with decimals or odd numbers, and the only way to solve this problem is by finding the nearest even number. Luckily, in Microsoft Excel, finding the nearest even number is a breeze, no matter what type of data you're working with. Before moving on to an example, let's first define what the even number function's goal is. By definition, the goal of the even function is to round a number up to the nearest even integer. If that number is negative, the number is rounded away from 0. This means that if you have a 1, the nearest even integer would be 2, but if you had negative 1, the nearest even integer would round away from 0 to negative 2. Getting a little more technical and looking at the syntax of the function, we'll be using the function even with the insert of a number, which is any numerical value in an equation. At this point, you may still be left with the question, why would you even want to round to the nearest even integer? I have two answers for this. My first is that in informal math, there's no reason to work with complex numbers if you're just looking for an estimate. My second reason is in regards to the presentation of data. Sometimes it's hard to comprehend what data is actually being presented when there's multiple decimal places complicating the actual information. By switching this complex data to even numbers, everyone can clearly see what data is being presented. Now let's jump into an example in Excel, seeing how we can use the even number function. Step 1 is activating the function itself. To do this, you can select any cell, or the cell that you designated the even number to be placed in, and start typing equals followed by the word even. When the even formula appears, press tab to activate the function. The alternative way to activate the function is to go to the top bar, click Formula, begin typing in even, and when it appears, click Select, and it will be entered into the cell you have selected. At this point, you should be ready to select data that you'd like to find the even number from. In step 2, we would like to actually apply the even function to the given set of data. The data given represents the average speed drivers were driving over the given speed limit on Interstate 35 in Minnesota between the times of 12 and 7 p.m. We have been given the average speed drivers were driving over the given speed limit, but would like to convert that to the nearest even number. To start off, we must begin by entering our function into cell B12. To do this, we begin by typing equals even. When the even function appears on the screen, click tab to activate the function. We are now ready for step 2, which is selecting the average speed drivers were driving over the speed limit. To do this, we click on cell B11. After clicking on cell B11, we can see that the average has now been added to our function in cell B12 and will be rounded to the nearest even integer. To complete the function, we must click enter. After clicking enter, we can see that the average miles per hour speeding, 9.1 in cell B11, has been rounded to the nearest whole number in cell B12 at 10. Now that we feel comfortable using the even number function, I'd like to briefly touch on how to handle an encounter with negative numbers. An encounter with negative numbers does not change the input of the formula, but does slightly change the output as it rounds away from 0. In my example, I've entered the equals even formula and found the even number closest to negative 1 to be negative 2, as I previously stated. Not that this is a major issue or flaw with the function, it does have to be remembered that negative numbers round away from 0. At this point, I hope that you feel comfortable using the even number function in Excel. Feeling comfortable and using the formulas built into Excel greatly increase anyone's efficiency. I hope you've been able to take something away from this video and will continue to use Excel for your mathematical and organizational needs. Thank you.